Welcome to Sewing Out Loud, the official podcast of ZD Sewing Studio. Here are your hosts, ZD and Mallory.
Sewing Out Loud. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mallory Donahue.
I'm ZD Donahue.
And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite projects in the whole world. And I just love talking about it. And
they don't even pay her to talk about it.
They don't even pay me to. I pay them to carry the product in my store. I just love it. This is the coolest stuff ever. It is called Annie's Soft and Stable, or the brand is by Annie's. Is
right.
Their brand,
and it's what we like.
And the product is called Soft and Stable.
And what we used to use instead of this was the foamy stuff that you line headliner foam in a car.
It's totally different. And
now this is so much better.
Yeah, so how I got introduced to Annie Soft and Stable was by Evy Hawkins. We were hosting her. She is from A Bit of Stitch is her company name, and she is an embroidery designer and a garment sewer, and she makes quilts, and
I think she can do whatever she wants. She's amazing.
She's the real deal.
Yeah.
You know,
she's a true artist.
Yes, she knows what she's doing too.
Right. Artist and technician both.
Yes, she's expert in a lot of things. And so she was having us order in some supplies when we hosted her. She's coming in from South Carolina to Missouri. I was all excited about having her. She's like, get in Annie Soft and Stable.
And she talks like that, too. She talks so nice compared to us.
She's
a sweet lady.
She better not start a podcast because she's real cute. She'll take over ours. So she told me to get in Annie Soft and Stable, and I actually couldn't find it. It wasn't available through one of my main distributors. And so she ordered it, sent it to us, and I opened it up. It was all pre-cut, and I was like, ooh, this stuff's neat. So it's kind of cool. Foamy. But I was also like, I wonder how...
Right. Is it easy to manipulate? Will it sew well? Will it hold up?
Sometimes it's called a batting alternative.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And sometimes when you put batting into bags or whatever, anything, costume, anything that you want to beef up a little bit, it gets really bulky in the seams and stuff like that. And so it made me wonder why she wanted Annie Soft and Stable. It made me wonder how easy it was to use. But I was also very trusting of Evy, so I was like, well, cool, I guess I'll find out what works. And we were making a purse on the Sashiko machine and just doing some straight line quilting on the Sashiko machine. And she said that the Sashiko loves this stuff. It's 100% polyester. It's very smooth.
Yes.
On both sides.
And it is soft.
It's
soft, and yet it has a stability to it.
No, every time I try to say that, I feel like I sound like such a hack because I end up saying Soft and Stable, which is what it's called. Right. They did a really good job, naming
it's a good
this
name.
job.
It really is.
Yeah,
and it's better than the headliner in the car.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And on the inside, it looks like foam. It looks porous, like a sponge or something. But on the outside, it's sort of finished off with this ridged
when I look at it,
texture.
It reminds me of an old mouse pad, except it's not that texture.
Right. But it's ridged like that.
Right.
And because it's ridged like that, it tends to kind of cling to your fabric.
Right.
Like once you place your fabric on there.
And it doesn't cling bad. It clings good.
It clings good.
Right. You can smooth the fabric down and it stays on there.
Yeah, it clings in such a way that you don't have to maybe temporary spray adhesive
or
baste
you can go without
or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It stays in place.
Yeah, and so then we made these, these bags, and you could just crumple up the bag in your hand,
and it springs back. And the other thing it doesn't do is it doesn't shift.
That's right.
It stays the same level over the entire project.
Since it's made the way it's made, I guess. Actually, I haven't interviewed them or anything. I'm sure I can find out. But you can quilt close together and far apart.
Right.
And it'll
It doesn't matter
where it is. Right. And also, I often would give people the advice about really heavy stabilizer or really heavy batting. Hey, trim that in. don't include
That's
that
right.
in
Don't
your
include-
seam.
Right.
You know?
Which, unfortunately, allows for that to shift, too,
Yeah, that's
after the
right.
product's made.
And
so,
you know, when you use that anti-soft and stable, you can just sew that stuff right
so
together.
what it does is it will compress
Yes.
nicely and
So
not
nicely.
add this bulk.
And it doesn't fight with the machine
Nope.
or anything. We used it with our poop emoji pillows.
That's right.
So I ordered stretch velour because it was the proper.
Can you say poop on Jimmy Fallon, do you think?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him when we're on next week.
Because when I'm on Jimmy Fallon, I want to know what I can say, because you're telling me I can't say a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if Mom and I are going to be doing many public speaking engagements. I don't know if I trust her. So anyway, I ordered this stretch velour, and we were going to make pillows out of it. And of course, it needed something to stabilize it, and also
To make it soft and stable.
Soft and stable. And I didn't, like you want your poop to be, right? I didn't want the batting to come through, the fiber fill to come through the pillow either. And so I designed original poop emoji design by me. I designed this pillow to have some like swirl lines, and we did those swirls
as a quilting.
Yeah, as like quilting
Right.
On the front of the pillow, and it just stuck that anti-soft and stable to it.
Right.
And then I had them put it on the back too with no quilting, and it was just sewn around the edge. And I had some really beginners in this class.
It was a very successful class.
And I had beginners who were like 7 and 10, and then I had a beginner that was like 40, and the anti-soft and stable caused them no troubles. And it acted as a way actually to make it, easier. So I had 2 layers of the stretch velour and 2 layers of anti-soft and stable that they were sewing through. Worked awesome. And the other thing I love about it is how you can piece it together.
Yes.
So
just zigzag it together.
Yeah. So I was making some samples for something, and I didn't have enough anti-soft and stable in the right size. So I just zigzagged these 2 pieces together. I used my edge joining foot, and I just butted up the 2 pieces.
Put that
zigzag in the middle, and it zigzagged over it.
Put the blade down the 2 pieces, and well, didn't you make like a bra cup like that too,
so
where you pieced it right together?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. So when you piece it together like this with the zigzag, you can see it when the soft and stable has just been pieced together. But once you put your fabric over it, you don't even know it's been pieced together.
But what I'm saying is you put a straight and a curved edge together.
No, I put, it was 2 curved edges. So if you picture like trying to sew 2 circles together, it was a bra cup. And the seam on this bra cup was like from, it was horizontal. That, it wasn't seamed. There are different bra cup seam placements. Right. And so my bra cup seam was from like the cleavage to like the underarm, if you want to, look at it that way. And so those 2 pieces were curved. So in order to make one smooth,
and they're curved in mirror image to each other.
Yeah.
So it's a convex curve on both edges that you're trying to put together.
It was 2 convex curves. Right. So I really had to butt them up close, and I got to do a video on this, and so look in the show notes.
Because it's impressive.
Hopefully I've got it there together. And I just butted the 2 up once again with that edge joining foot. I just showed it who was boss because I could butt them up, and then once it was behind the foot and pieced together, I could just like crumple it.
Mallory's sewing with her hands while she's talking.
I don't even know if that's appropriate, like what I just did. But anyway, that was really easy. And I made my own custom bra cups because I think I was using a pattern, and I like cut out what they told me to cut out. And I was like, this isn't
didn't work.
Gonna fit on my bib, And part of it was because I have a broad back and a broad rib cage, and it was like their B cup was like too narrow.
Right.
And so I had on a bra that fit me, and I just like laid the anti-soft and stable
and
over like the top of my, breast, and drew a line, and then I put it up under the bottom. I drew a line, and I made a bra cup that was wide enough to go from like, where your side seam is to right at the cleavage. Right. And it's awesome. And so once you have that bra cup, like, hey, it can be the right size for you. And it was wonderful. I loved it. I'm going to put it in a bathing suit, or make myself just a ton of little,
when
fun bras about
when you find a product like this, what happens with me is I think back on all the other things I could have used it for
in
the history of time.
Yeah. Oh,
The things
have one?
The things that I dealt with where maybe, I inserted garbage twist ties to give it a little stiffening, or, the bizarre stuff I do.
No, I have one that, like, this would have saved my freaking life.
Right.
Okay. I had to make elephant masks in
yeah.
college.
Mask, But
hold on. Okay. I had to make these, and the dancers had to. They wanted one of these huge exaggerated elephant ears, and I just could not find the something light enough that didn't want to just like fall down, but then was still big enough. And I figured it out, I guess, somehow. But Annie Soft and Stable would have been the perfect thing.
Annie Soft and Stable, perfect for any character face like that, character ears. Isaac got a penguin costume out of. I used it. I basically took a hoodie and built a penguin head on the hoodie for him to have for Halloween, and then made him the body, and he just put on his hoodie, and then we put this little jumper on, and then I also used it on the feet, and made little shoe covers that look like.
And they stuck
his
out.
Little web feet, and they stuck out of.
They stuck out nice, and they weren't hard for him to wear.
No,
they weren't uncomfortable.
They formed right over the shoe. He wasn't even here when I made it. They fit perfect. And I just stitched right through it. In fact, all I did was use. Now the face, I just used the black, and the head, I used the black, Soft and Stable, and then I just added features using like white felt, and then the feet were just. The Annie Soft and Stable cut out with the yellow felt. Put on top of them.
No, I remember you asking me, you're like, hey, bring home some Annie Soft and Stable. I'm like, okay. And then you're like, is there anything I need to know about this stuff? And I was like, I literally think I texted you, no, it's amazing. You just sew through it.
Right. And I did. And
you
did.
did. Yeah. I was like, no, you're going to have so much fun.
Right.
You're going to have a great time.
In fact, she kind of brought me some scraps, and I had more than I really needed. But I was like, well, I should just use these scraps. And I pieced a bunch of it together, and you didn't even tell me I could. Yeah.
And the Annie Soft and Stable comes in black and white right now, and I've used the black plain on a lot of things. Like on the emoji pillows, the pupils of the eyes, they're just black Annie Soft and Stable. Now the white, then they put this on the package, it will discolor.
It's discolored. Sure.
And they say it's nothing to do.
Well, it's probably because it's some sort of plastic.
Right. And they say it's nothing to do with like the durability or anything. It's just going to discolor. And so I was like, okay, well, I won't probably ever use the white naked, but I definitely can use the black naked. Now, it can attract like lint. I would never make like a whole bag naked.
Of just Soft and Stable.
Just Soft and Stable, But I did make you that bag, and I didn't line it.
That's right.
Remember?
She made me a bag actually using the dot sequin fabric, which is sort of the cheap Halloween where the sequins are, just plastic and glued onto the metallic-y knit.
Right.
And all she did was lay that fabric over the Annie Soft and Stable. You didn't use any adhesive or anything, right?
Nope.
And just sewed it together and left the inside
unfinished.
Unfinished. It has a zipper in the top, and it looks great.
In the bag,
because of course when you cut the edges, they're nice and clean, and they don't fray or anything.
That bag is awesome.
She keeps telling me how awesome the bag is.
And the reason I had to make that bag for Mom is Mom gets B12 shots every month, and
if Mallory shows up to give them to me.
You're due
today
for one.
Is right.
Yeah,
today is due.
4 days. 4 days ago, we were supposed to do it. I had an alarm on my phone. I guess I just don't care about you that much. But every time I go over, I'm like, "Hey, Mom, let's do the B12," and she's like, "Okay."
Where did we put it?
Where are the syringes? I got the B12.
I know we put it in a Ziploc, but where did we put the Ziploc?
I was keeping the alcohol pads here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, And so I made her this gigantic bag.
Okay, she made me a bag big enough for all the B12 in the rest of my life.
That's right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get big packs of syringes and stuff. And
they do.
I made it out of that pink dot sequin, so you should always be able to find it.
That's right. It's like, it is.
And even if you need to shove it in your closet between some stuff.
It mashes.
Right. And then you can take it out and just pops back open.
No, it's the perfect thing for bags.
And the other thing about the Annie Soft and Stable that, it embroiders out very nicely.
Yes.
You can use it right under, whatever fabric you're using. I wouldn't hoop the Annie Soft and Stable. I'd like hoop some tearaway and then hoop my Soft and Stable, my top fabric. But if you want to do something with like quilting, or you want that embroidery to look a little bit like Trapunto-y or something, it will handle,
and
embroidery
bra
machine will do it.
cups. I mean, it
Right. But the one thing that actually you really shouldn't embroider on that I learned is that dot sequin.
The problem with the dot sequin is it has too much glue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about dot sequin maybe we should talk about sometimes.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, the bra cups for the Annie Soft. Oh, and the Annie Soft and Stable is completely washable and dryable because it's 100% polyester. So you can...
And it does melt, so be careful.
Yeah, so don't iron it, too much or anything. But you can really sculpt with the stuff. We were talking about masks and everything. If you want to make like a nose, or you want to make ears or something like that.
Well, with the penguin, I made the beak.
Yeah.
And all I did was lay, the yellow felt on top of it.
You can make some, nips and tucks,
right. I made a little dart in the beak so it would,
look
have
like
that shape, right?
Because it will hold its shape nicely. And it's so wonderful. And they really, like I said, they named it really well. It really is.
So we
it's
can't
soft,
think of any way.
And it's
You're not
stable.
supposed to describe anything with its name.
That's
but
right.
It's soft and stable.
Exactly. So if you
kind of like me on soft and
they
stable.
also produce a lot of really cool patterns.
Yeah.
From her company by Annie's, and cute little nail polish organizers and travel bags and stuff that kind of show off how nice this stuff is.
Right.
And
how well it works.
We're just here to tell you about the really weird stuff you can do. They try to keep it conventional and, appealing to the masses.
Well, it's perfect for something, too, you're trying to protect, like an eyeglass case, something like that.
Well, I made, speaking of dot sequin and Annie Soft and Stable, everybody came over for Christmas, and my niece had gotten a new Kindle.
Right.
And her parents were like, Catherine, go put that Kindle over there in the corner so that you don't lose it. It shouldn't be on the kitchen table, whatever. So I stole her Kindle, and I ran up here to the studio.
And everybody's looking for the Kindle, and Mallory's upstairs in the studio.
I didn't tell anybody I stole it either. And I stole it, and I was like, I just don't want it to be the wrong size. And I made her a Kindle case, just like I made your bag.
In 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds, with Annie Soft and Stable and the dot sequin. I put a zipper in the top, and I thought, it will be pink dot sequin. It will be protected by Annie Soft and Stable, and she will not lose it, is the idea there. So... yeah, and I could have used, any color, but we had all that black from the penguin.
Right.
So, and Annie Soft and Stable, you can get it in a lot of different sizes, and some dealerships may even have it on a bolt.
Right.
Or, places where you can go. We don't have it on a bolt. I sell it in the big, though, the 36-inch by 15-inch packs, because, like I said, you can piece it together. You will use it all the time, instead of batting. In fact... every time at club.
Well, when she says instead of batting,
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't put it inside my baby
Oh,
blanket.
sure
So
not.
be
Yeah,
careful.
no.
I mean, she's talking about something where you want a little stiffness.
Yes.
You want some rigidity.
Fabric bags.
But it still feels nice and, pliable when you
Mhm.
touch it.
Like those fabric baskets, all those organizer baskets and stuff, where
Excellent,
people are
yes.
using that heavy Pellon.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would much rather. The
And
Annie Soft and
this
Stable.
never, sometimes the Pellon type things, which Pellon is a
I mean,
trade
that's
name, but those non-woven type inner stabilizer facings, whatever they want to call them, sometimes as they get old, they will get crumply or crinkly, and we have not had that happen with the Annies yet.
No, it's really nice, and once again, washable. Soft,
Right.
Attractive looking.
And when we say washable, the thing is that it comes out just like it was.
Right.
Where a lot of times those other,
And
the
it's not
other
crinkle.
stabilizers don't do that.
Yeah, and it's not it doesn't
That's
get that
right.
crinkly,
That's right.
feeling.
Yes.
It's always soft.
No, it feels the same,
Mhm.
after it's laundered.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will also, it helps your bag keep its shape, or your basket keep its
Right.
shape. If you have a nice corner, nice rounded corner.
I'm just thinking about when Children of Eden and all that, and we had to make all of those. You talk about animal heads and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and we were cutting them out of foam. And if I'd have had Annie Soft and Stable, I could have made a ton of ears. Let me tell you.
Well, and so Annie Soft and Stable is marketed as that batting alternative for bags and stuff, and so I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons why we weren't hot to trot on it, because we're not really batting people, you know. And then Mom and I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, you have to try this stuff," and you're like, "No, and then you try it and you're like,
Right.
oh my God, it is
I'm a
really
convert.
amazing. Yeah, so if you're a costumer, if it's not in your radar, like, because you're not a quilter, try it out. It's really wonderful.
now that you've been to the Church of
Annie
Soft and Stable.
Have you ever used Annie Soft and Stable, or is there any product that you've ever found that you didn't know that you'd like and then it was just absolutely life-changing for you? We would love to hear about it in the comments on our website. You can go to sewingoutloud.com or sewhere.com. And if you're feeling frisky, give us a review on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it.
So long, so happy.
Thanks for listening to Sewing Out Loud. For even more expert sewing advice, visit sewhere.com.